Namaste. I am here with first lesson on chapter integrals. We shall discuss what is integral of a function. First of all, we shall understand it as antiderivatives. We have studied to find derivatives of different functions in previous lesson and chapter. What is integral? What is the process of integration? What is geometrical meaning of integrals? We will discuss it in today's lesson. And later we shall go through different methods of integration. So let us start. Here I have written derivative of tangent x, this is sec square x, derivative of x square by 2, that is x, derivative of a raised to power x divided by log a is a to the power x. Now, in reverse process or anti-derivative, if derivative of tangent x is sec square x, then we say that integration of sec square x with respect to x is tangent x. Similarly, derivative of this function is x, then integration of this function x with respect to x is x square by 2. Again, derivative of this function is a to the power x, then as antiderivative or the integral of a to the power x dx is this. So, integral is the function for a given function which on differentiating with respect to the variable gives the original function. Say sec square x is a function and its integral is tangent x. It means if we differentiate tangent x, then we obtain sec square x. Similarly, if we integrate sin x with respect to x, for which function the derivative is sin x, we know that derivative of cos x is minus sin x. So integration of sin x will be minus cos x. Again, I am taking one more example. If integration of 1 plus x square is tangent inverse x, because the derivative of tangent inverse x is 1 upon 1 plus x square. So in this way we can understand what is integral. What is the integral of e to the power x? The function which on differentiation with respect to x gives d raised to power x is the integral of e to the power x. It is again e to the power x. Now we take another part, say d by dx of x square by 2 plus c, where c is a real number. If we differentiate this, then again we obtain x. Again, derivative of tangent x plus c, where c is a constant, it is sec square x plus 0, that is sec square x. In similar way, derivative of sin x is cos x, and again derivative of sin x plus c is cos x. So if there is a constant associated with the given function, and if we differentiate it, we note that derivative of constant is always 0. This will be, we can write it as 0 0 0. It makes no difference in the result. So on integration we shall use always a constant of integration, that is a arbitrary number, and it gives different functions which on integration gives the function as antiderivative. We will write it integration of x dx equal to x square by 2 plus c. If we differentiate this, we will get x. Again, integration of sec square x dx will be tangent x plus c. Here c is constant of integration. Now we understand some terms used in integration or for integrals. We know that derivative of equal to fx, say. We can write it derivative of y dx. Integrate this both sides. Or y is equal to integration of fx dx. If y is integral of function fx, then we write it in this form. This fx is called integrand. The function for which we are finding integral is called integrand. And the value of integral, this is called integral. Integral. This is sign of integration. And the process of finding integral is called integration. Or we simply say integrate the following function. It means we have to find integral. And if we read it this as find integral of fx, the function f, with respect to x. And c is called constant of integration, which we associate every time. Say y equal to this, then the integration, there will be a constant of integration c, always there. So we have known about what is integral, what is symbol of integration, what is integrand, what is variable in a integral or integration, what is meaning of to integrate, it means we have to find integral. If a function is like this, fx, If we find derivative of this function and it is fx, then integration of, to understand the geometrical interpretation of integral, I am taking one example that is from your textbook. We consider a function y equal to x square plus c. We take first x square. The derivative of x square is 2x. Again, if we take x square plus 1, derivative is 2x. For x square plus 2, it is again 2x. And similarly, for x square plus c, where c is a constant, it will be 2x. If we find values of derivative at x equal to a, we will get 2a, 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 always 2a. We know that derivatives represents slope of tangent at a particular point. The value of derivative at x equal to a represents the slope of tangent at x equal to a. Now what about the integral? If we integrate 2x plus dx, we shall get x square plus c. C can take different values. If c is 0, then this will be the integral of 2x, x square. If c is 1, then x square plus 1 will be the integral. X square plus 2, x square minus 1 if c is minus 1. And similarly, x equal to 5, then x square plus 5. And if we take c as c, then it will be x square plus c. So what is the meaning of derivative? It is clear to us, but what is meaning of integral? First of all, it represents a family of curves. Here the function, the integral x square plus c represent a family of curve where c is a real number. Just say c is 0, then this will be the curve. This is a parabola for y equal to x square. And then if we take c equal to 1, this will be the parabola. Again, if we take c equal to 2, this will be the parabola. If we choose c equal to minus 1, this will be the parabola. In this manner, we can have infinite number of parabolas. If c changes, the parabola will change. But all will be similar. All will be similar, only the vertex will shift. If we shift from value of c from 0 to 1, the vertex from 0 will shift at 0, 1. If we choose c equal to 2, the vertex of parabola will be at 0, 2. And if we take c equal to minus 1, then vertex will be at 0, minus 1. So we will obtain a family of curve for integral of a function. Here 2x is the function and its integral is x square plus c. In general, it will represent a family of curve. We can denote it as fcx. And second outcome of this, if we draw a line x equal to a, it will intersect every member of this family, curves of family. It will intersect each curve at a point, say P0, P1, P2, P3, P minus 1, P minus 2. If we draw tangent there, as it is obvious that the slope of tangent at x equal to a is 2 at a for this function. So the tangent, all the tangents at intersection point of curve and this line will be always parallel. This tangent, this tangent, this tangent, this tangent, and infinite number of curves and infinite number of tangents with intersection by this line x equal to a at particular line, all will be parallel. This is the geometrical meaning of integral. Now we take some properties of integrals. Whenever we speak of integral, it means it is indefinite integral. Later we will study definite integrals. So first property is, if there is a function which is derivative of a function fx, then integration of derivative of a function is function itself. Second, if we change variable, function is same, then it makes no difference. I am explaining these two by taking example. First of all, understand this. Say fx equal to tangent x and f dash x is sec square x. The derivative of this function is sec square x. Then integration of sec square x dx will be tangent x. This is the meaning. Again, we can understand it as the derivative of x raised to power n. If function is f y equal to x raised to power n, then derivative y dash or f dash x is n x raised to power n minus 1. Or if it is like this, n plus 1, then the function will be x raised to power n and its derivative is n x raised to power n minus 1. Then integration of will be equal to x raised to power n. Similarly, we can several examples and the property will hold. Second, if we integrate two similar functions, say one is sine x and second is sine y, we will get the same result. Integration of sine x dx equal to cos x minus, and integration of sine y dy, it will be minus cos y. These are similar, both will be equal. Because x is variable, then for sine x, the derivative of cos x is minus sine x. So the integration of sine x will be minus cos x. And integration of sine x y with respect to y will be cos y. These are similar. There is no difference between two except the variable is different here. So changing of variable makes no difference in integrals. Third, if a function is sum of two functions or difference of two functions, or it is sum of more than two or more functions, then the derivative of sum of functions will be equal to the sum of integrals of the function. Sorry, the sum of integrals. The integration of sum of functions will be equal to the sum of integrals of the individual functions. Again, there is a constant, then constant is multiplied by a function, then we can find its integral by taking k outside, or k is independent of the integral. K does not make any difference to the integral, and we will integrate only the part of function containing variable. Similarly, this is the case if a function is like this k1 f1x, this is first function multiplied by a number k1 constant, second function by k2, third function by k3, and last will be nth kn into fnx. Then the integral of this whole function, which is in the form of this expression, its integral will be k1 into integration of first function, k2 into integration of second, k3 into integration of third, and kn into integration of the last function. We will use these rules or properties when we integrate functions in future. Now we understand the process of integration by taking some examples. Find the integral of this function. It is question number 10 from exercise 7.1 of our textbook. Let us start. The function here is, we have to find the integral y square root of x minus 1 upon square root of x whole square dx. We can evaluate this by using a minus b whole square formula. It will be square root x, first term whole square of this, minus 2 into square root of x into 1 upon square root of x plus square of second term, that is 1 upon root x whole square dx. Now this function is comprises of three different functions. First of all, solve this, and then we will use property here, square root and its square, it is x, minus 2 square root x, we cancel square root x, and this will be 1 upon x dx. Now using rule third, we can write it as integration of x dx. This is first part. Second, minus 2 into integration of dx, because it is constant, I am taking it outside, or we can write it as integration of 2 dx or plus integration of dx upon x. Again, by fourth rule, we can take it outside, integration of x dx minus 2 into integration of x raised to power 0. We can write 1 as x raised to power 0. It will make our task easier. Now, which is the function for which derivative is x? It is x raised to power 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus 1. By formula, integration of x to power n dx is equal to x raised to power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus constant of integration. And constant of integration will be c1 here, say. This is the first part, minus second 2 into x raised to power 0 plus 1 upon 0 plus 1. And what is the function for which the derivative is 1 upon x? It is log x. For log of x, the derivative is 1 upon x. For log of minus x, it is 1 upon x. So we can write it as modulus of x also. Here plus c2 and plus log of x plus c3. Or we can use a single constant of integration. So this will be x square upon 2 plus c1 minus, I can write it in this way also, plus c2 minus twice of x raised to power 1 upon 1 plus c2 and plus log of x plus c3. Now expand this, solve this further or simplify this. X square upon 2 minus 2x और प्लस log of x plus c1 minus 2c2 plus c3, and write a new constant of integration, that is x square upon 2 minus 2x plus log x plus c. This is the integral for root x minus 1 upon root x whole square. This is our answer. So answer is C. In this way we can find integral of a given function. Further, as we know, log x is the differentiation of log x is 1 upon x, and log of minus x is also 1 upon x. So we will write it as modulus of this function, modulus of this x, modulus of this x, modulus of this x. So don't forget, wherever we have logarithmic function as integral, we must use absolute value or modulus of x. Now this question number 16, integrate this function with respect to x. First of all, use this rule, integration of fx plus gx equal to integration of fx dx plus integration of gx dx. Using this rule and generalizing this, we can write it as integration of twice x dx minus integration of thrice cos x dx and plus integration of e raised to power x dx. We can write it as plus minus 3 cos x also, but the minus sign will be here. Again simplify this. This is constant, so take it outside the integral. This is, make this out of the integrand. It is x dx minus 3 integration of cos x dx plus e raised to power x dx. Now we have the integrands as generally these are derivatives of some functions. So what is integral of x square? The derivative of which function is x. This is x raised to power 2 upon 2. I am writing directly because x raised to power 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus 1, x square upon 2 minus 3. Which is the function for which the derivative is cos x? It is sin x. This is sin x. And plus c1 is here minus 3 sin x plus c2. The integration of cos x is sin x and constant of integration is c2. Then the derivative for which the function for which the derivative is e raised to power x, it means the integration of e raised to power x is e raised to power x plus c3, because derivative of e raised to power x is e raised to power x again. Now simplify this. This is x square plus 2c1 minus 3 sin x minus 3c2 plus e raised to power x plus c3, and arrange it once again. X square minus 3 sin x plus e raised to power x plus 2c1 minus 3c2 and plus c3, and write a single constant of integration in place of these three constants, x square minus 3 sin x plus e raised to power x plus c. This is the answer. So the procedure to find the derivative is as antiderivative, determine the function which on differentiation gives this integrand, and they use the properties. We can easily evaluate the integrals. Now another example. Now question number 19. Sec square x upon cosec square x dx. We have to integrate it with respect to x, this function. Is there any function whose derivative is this? This is not in the form. So we start with this. Simplify this. We can write sec square x as 1 upon cos square x and cosec square x as sin square x. This will be sin square x upon cos square x. By simple trigonometrical formula, the reciprocal function sec square x is opposite of cos and cosec square x is equal to 1 upon sin x. So we have used the formula and written this. Now it can be written as sin x upon cos x whole square, and that is tangent x and square. So we can simply write it tangent square x. Is there any function whose antiderivative is tan square x? No. So we have to use some trick to obtain a function, the function in the form that we can have them in terms of derivatives. So tangent square x can be written as using this fundamental identity, second fundamental identity of trigonometry, we can write tangent square x as sec square x minus 1. And we know that sec square x is integrable. We know it is derivative of tangent x. So write tangent square x as sec square x minus 1 using formula. Now write it in two parts. It is sec square x dx minus dx, or x raised to power 0 as I written in previous example. This is tangent x. This is derivative of tangent x, sec square x. So its integral will be tangent x and plus c1 minus, this is x raised to power 0 or 1. 1 is differentiation of, we can obtain 1 by differentiating x. So it is x plus c2. Tangent x plus c1 minus x minus c2. Now tangent x minus x plus c1 minus c2. Write a new constant of integration. Here I have forgotten. Write tangent x minus x plus c. This is the integration of this. If you differentiate this, you can obtain this also. So this is our answer. Thank you very much.